because they were looking up to me to organize them and get them a proper.
You fled the country.
Well, that is not the reason I fled the country. I had differences with the system.
You fell out with the system and you went and joined the rebellion. Why?
And I joined the movement.
Did one thing lead to the other?
There are many series of things that happen, but this is what I was putting, that people have disagreed with the system. They went out through different agreements.
I'm talking about your particular disagreement. What happened? What made you leave and join the rebellion?
Many people have different reasons for leaving over the last few years.
I'm talking about your reasons for leaving.
Well, I'd say the same thing. The system doesn't accommodate your ideas, and when they can't, you must look for a way to make your ideas go on. This is what politics is about. It's about ideology and your ideas. And if your ideas have no place in the system, then there is no point for you to be in the system. You can either retire, become a farmer, or look for another organization that will put forward.
In this case, you took up arms, you rebelled against that system.
Of course.
Why?
Because of many reasons that will not be proper for me to discuss them now, especially now.
Here is what you have said on record. You have said that the status quo is unsustainable and the current leadership in the country is too deformed to be reformed, and therefore there is an urgent and pressing need of a total revolutionary overhaul of the system. This responsibility falls squarely on the shoulders of the youth of South Sudan. Thinking about the fact that you were organizing the youth and then calling for a total overhaul of the system. What justified all this?
These are not inconsistent. These are consistent things. Is that the first option is to organize the youth in a peaceful manner within the same system. That is the first option. But when you are faced with difficulties, you must look for other ways to make sure that the youth are organized and they take over their country and drive it in the right direction. And so they're not inconsistent.
Now you found yourself mobilizing the youth to fight against the country. You wanted the youth to be a force for good, and now the youth became a force for bad.
These are not inconsistent things. Even the current leadership, when we were one Sudan, we were all brothers. And for many years they have decided to give a chance to the system that was in place to be able to change things. And when they did not, sometimes you are forced to pick up arms and defend your own country against the sitting system. That is part of patriotism.
You talk about
patriotism is not loyalty to government. Patriotism is loyalty to your country. And sometimes you may be forced to fight your government on behalf of your country.
And when we talk about a country, you are talking about a country where over 70% of the population are young people.
That's right.
And because your interest was not accommodated, you had to rebel. This seems to be what many young people are doing. For them to advance in life, you must rebel and come back. Now, you have so many titles that you didn't have before. Is that the impact of young leaders? That you must look for power by all means necessary, which you have also used.
That is simplistic. Many people who have left did not leave because they were hungry or they did not have position. For example, the current first vice president, when he left here, you wouldn't believe that he went to Pagak or went all the way on his foot to go and look for food. The former governor of Unity State, you know he was content. He can live without politics and he can feed himself for many years. We all know that. So not everybody who left
we are talking about you
no,
I'm just coming.
I'm coming. Not everybody who does that. When I left from here, you were interviewing me, and now you're interviewing me. There's nothing that has changed. When I left here, I was a surgeon since 1988. Now I'm still a surgeon since 1988. There's not a lot that has changed. A press secretary, it is not a big position. It is actually, it's not a political position. For me as a leader of the youth of all the political parties, to me I see it as better than the current positions that I have. Number two, all the youth that are left here, all my groups, the people who were doing political work together are all ministers. Okay? Look at Ajwet Mohan Mawir, who was my deputy. He's a minister in Warap and then became a minister in Twitch State. Madin Malik is a minister of information in Tonj. Lado Jabeke is a minister of information in Terekeka. Lam Tungwar, who was my deputy in the interim youth union, is a minister of information. So all of us are up, whether you are in Juba or you are, it doesn't matter. Because not many young people left with Victoria.
So you have not made any gain from the revolution?
I have made gains in the fact that agreements have been signed that have brought transformation. There are reforms in those agreements. This is the change we are talking about. It's not change of position, because not everybody, it's not about where you are that you make it. It's about who you are. Because there are many young people that went into rebellion, but you have never heard from them, and you are not interviewing them. So it is not about where you are, it's about what you can contribute as an individual. And for me as an activist, I would have contributed whether I'm under President Salva, under General Taban, or under Dr. Riek. It doesn't matter where I am. I will contribute, just like most of my friends who have become ministers. In fact, they are ahead of me now. When I came back here, they are the one who received me. Some of them have bodyguards, some of them have drivers, and I'm still individual. So I did not leave my concrete house to go to Pagak, to live in a thatch house and in a tent because I was looking for a position. What position else do you want as a youth when you are the top youth leader in the country? What else do you want?
There are a lot of things that you have said, and when you look at what has happened, because young leaders have impact, and rebellion has impact. People have died as a result of,
that's right,
of the revolution.
That's right.
And is that regrettable? When you look at the whole movie that has been happening and now coming back, and not a lot has changed, what you were calling for has not changed that much, so you have settled for what is there, for the status quo. So do you regret the path in which you have gone?
I can never do that. I can never do that. And for those of you who think that this government, after we've come, is the same government of before 2013, then you are not the you are not a king.
You talk about reforms. What has changed?
We are working through our differences. Okay, we are working through our differences. We have committed ourselves to ARCIS, and you have read ARCIS and all the 8 chapters. Okay, ranging from economic reforms, security sector reforms, public service reforms, the current power sharing, the representation, some of the issues that have been addressed in ARCIS, and some of the issues that have been addressed in Arusha Agreement, where the leadership has admitted that they have lost vision and mission. For me, it's a huge progress. The fact that the leadership entirely, from Chairman President Salva, all the way, the members of the Politburo and the members of the Secretariat, admitting that they have lost direction from where we started in 1983, is an achievement. Have you
not also lost direction? Because you started by mobilizing the youth in support of the government, you were supporting President Salva, and then you were supporting Riek Machar, and now Taban Dengai, and who knows who else is coming. So you are not consistent. And when we talk about young leaders as an idea for fixing South Sudan, all this inconsistency is not leading the youth in the right direction. Would you agree?
I will not agree. You know why? When you talk about consistency, I am consistent to a principle. I am not consistent to an individual. These are two different things. Being consistent to an individual leader, even if he has done wrong, and being consistent to your principle is what matters. Okay? And my principle is a peaceful, prosperous South Sudan. That's mine. If President Salva achieves...
You joined a rebellion. Is that peaceful?
And a rebellion can be a tool to bring about more prosperous country.
It was a violent revolution.